A federal inmate on the run, the prison that failed to keep him in, just a short drive east from Austin. A spokesperson for the U.S. Marshal's Office says they now believe that Marco Antonio Gamboa has fled Central Texas and is either in the Rio Grande Valley or possibly in Mexico. Gamboa walked away from the federal correctional institution in Bastrop yesterday afternoon. KXAN's Doug Shupe is live outside that minimum security prison with more on what neighbors are saying about this escape. Doug?
Well, Robert, U.S. Marshals say that Gamboa could have had just a few minutes or up to several hours to walk outside of the fences of this federal prison here off of Highway 95. Guards noticed he was gone when they did a count around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Neighbors who just learned about the escape today are wondering why they were not told sooner. By sundown Monday, ranchers and residents around the Federal Correctional Institution in Bastrop had heard about the latest escape, mostly by word of mouth.
Talked to a guy down the street down here earlier.
Troy Tyner's family has owned this land next to the prison for a decade. He doesn't worry about escapees coming here.
Well, I don't think that they'd stop right here, right next door. I think that they're going to hook it down the road and try to get as far away from here as they could.
But he does worry prison officials don't give neighbors enough notice when inmates walk away from the minimum security facility.
We could be sure to lock everything and make sure keys were out of the vehicles and, have everything secure.
This is at least the fourth escape or walkaway in just the last 2 years.
I don't know. Somebody's not doing their job.
Marco Gamboa, a U.S. citizen, was serving an 11-year sentence on major narcotics conspiracy and money laundering charges from Atlanta, Georgia in 2008. Although the U.S. Marshal's Office says it is not aware of Gamboa having a history of violence or access to weapons, Dwight Tucker says in neighborhoods around the prison where children play outside and school buses pass on rural roads, security at the prison should be tighter.
Well, somebody's pushed to violence. If they're breaking out, they're going to do everything they can to stay out.
Now, the U.S. Marshal spokesman says the Bureau of Prisons is required to issue a press release after an escape, but not required to go door to door notifying people. He says U.S. Marshals are working with authorities in Brownsville and McAllen, where Gamboa has close ties and family members. If Gamboa has gone south of the border, he says U.S. Marshals will work very closely with counterparts in Mexico to bring him back here to face federal escape charges. Reporting live in Bastrop County tonight, Doug Shupe, KXAN Austin News.
Looking in depth at those recent prison breaks Doug talked about. Last May, an inmate jumped a fence at the Bastrop institution but was caught within 5 minutes. But last November, it took federal marshals a week to track down 2 escapees in Mexico. And just before that, in August of last year, an inmate made it to Texarkana before he was arrested, again 4 days after escaping. All returned to the prison to face additional federal charges.